and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Leesburg. The theme for this year is Living Everyday Wonder. The theme for the month is community, and the title of our talk today is Ode to Joy, given by wonderful spiritual director Charlene Banks. We're so glad that you could join us here today. Please feel free to add to the chat or the comments section any prayers or celebrations that you would like included later in our service when we do our affirmative prayer, also called spiritual mind treatment. So we're so glad that you took a little time out of your Sunday today, a busy, busy time of the year. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as we officially begin our service today. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be a service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. And so it is. And now I invite you to join us in our meditation. You heard, as the video showed us, that that's one of our pillars. And meditation is so beneficial, especially this time of year. It's great to take a little time out of your day and just be still and meditate. So please join me now by taking a few deep breaths. In, and slowly release it out. And in, and out. Clear your mind of any noise, any chatter. And if the thoughts, those interrupting thoughts, start to creep back in during the meditation, just let them appear like snowflakes that are held on your palms, but they quickly melt away and disappear. Another deep breath in and out. Sit back and relax, get into a nice comfortable pose and open up your hands and place your palms so they face up. Gently close your eyes and let yourself be carried into a place of stillness. Let your body just in this present moment. Let's just relax each and every body part, starting with your toes. Let them relax in your feet. We're going to work our way up your legs, your torso, your chest, shoulders. Just relax them. That's a place where tension tends to gather. Your neck, you can roll it from side to side. And just let tension and stress disappear completely from your body. Let go of any burdens or worries that you carry as you gently welcome this moment of complete relaxation. Now for our meditation today, I'd like to invite you with your mind's eye, as your eyes are just closed, visualize yourself looking down at your lap, and you are delighted to see a wrapped present. What a wonderful surprise. Visualize the wrapping. You don't have to do any work. The ribbon, the bow. Visualize the size and the shape of this magical gift that has suddenly appeared in your hands. You can pick it up, you can shake it. Does it make a sound? And with childlike joy, remove the wrapping and discover what's inside. To your surprise and awe, it is exactly what you need. Did you need peace? Then it's peace. Peace and tranquility radiate from this gift, and they shine over your entire body, filling your mind, your body, your entire being with light, peaceful light. Feel it just float and sway. Your body just moves as if you're as free as a child on a swing. You're completely happy. You have peace. Did you feel lack or want? Then your gift is abundance. The abundance of time or resources. Whatever you need, it is exactly what you need. Notice how abundance flows and keeps flowing from the gift. It's like a fountain. Abundance just bubbles up and overflows. You might even need rain boots or an umbrella because there's just so much abundance flowing around you, starting at that gift and just pouring out. There is so much abundance. Exactly what you need right now. Did you need health? Then the gift that you have is a gift of perfect and complete health. It covers your body, every cell, every muscle, every bone, every organ, every fiber of your being responds to its wonderful healing energy. You can feel that pulsing energy. It has a beat. You can feel your body begin to respond to that beat. You move, you sway effortlessly. You have perfect health now in your hands. It's yours. Did you need love today? Then your gift is love, pure love. You can feel yourself surrounded with friends and family as they wrap you up in a warm embrace. You are so loved. Sink into that feeling right now, like you would sink into an overstuffed chair. The gift that you hold in your hands is love or peace, abundance, perfect health. It's whatever you need right now at this moment. As you enjoy your perfect gift, focus on the truth that you are a pure spiritual being. You are in a place where peace, abundance, perfect health, love, joy, prosperity abound. You are moving toward a clear state of consciousness, an awareness that you have everything that you need, always. The universe doesn't wait until it's your birthday, until it's a special holiday, or until the item that you need is on sale. You already have it. Everything that you need is within you. Whenever you need something, all you have to do is unwrap it, just like you did in this meditation. I'm going to repeat those words so you hear them one more time. You already have all that you need within. Whenever you need something, you simply have to unwrap it, just like you did in this meditation. When you are ready, slowly open your eyes and come back and join us, because this was just the start of our time together. We're going to listen to the wonderful music of Soul Pajamas, and then we'll have our message from Charlene.
Good morning. This is a beautiful song about connection. It's actually a spiritual mind treatment in song written by Jan and JD. This is what I know, we are all connected, the universe reflected in each shining part, and everywhere I go, I recognize the faces, all of my relations in this one heart. All I need is already looking through these eyes, nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth, and so I receive all I can be. Now I let it go with such appreciation, with sheer exhilaration. Now I set it free, and so it is, and so be it. When I sing it, I can see it. I welcome us in, and now we begin. Amen. 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 This is what I know.
That was amazing. I loved it. Thank you, Soul Pajamas. And Tamara, I love that meditation. My gift was this Christmas ornament, and it said joy on it. And then when you kept leading us through, I was like, oh, and now it's shining, and now it's like blessing me. It's pretty awesome the way that works. Thank you for that meditation. I'm going to open that present over and over again. Thank you. So good morning and welcome to Sunday. Boy, it's already the third week in December. And the title of this talk is Ode to Joy. And I love this topic because there's a lot going on, but the month we're talking about community for the whole month. And I know that the first week I was talking to you about the purposeful community, where not just physical, because a lot of people use certain guidance from those who know to create beautiful communities where instead of one leader speaking to rows and rows and rows of people, they form a circle. So there is no leader, there's no head of the circle. And in the community, they have affinity circles, smaller circles, where if I'm interested in computers, then there's a computer circle or technology circle. And then there's another one that does gardening. And then there's another one that takes, beautiful care of the children and arts and crafts. And a community, big circle, has multiple little circles inside of it working to create an amazing experience for the community itself. And then on that first Sunday, I mentioned how if we take a step back or take a higher view of it, then isn't it true that if our community is a circle of like-minded individuals that find smaller circles to operate within, then isn't our community a smaller circle in the global circle? And the global community, because we know that our mission, one of our visions that we talked about last week, was making the world a place where all are fed, all have a place to live. I read to you some of our vision statements as CSL org, as the whole organization. And so this week, when we talk about Ode to Joy, the title comes from a symphony that was written by, hold on, I know it. Well, here's the marketing teaser. It says, with a voice comes a song. With an instrument comes music. Yet it takes an orchestra to create a symphony. And so Ode to Joy, which is apparently a poem that inspired one of the great composers to create a symphony based on that poem, it really is the inspiration for us as a community to get together and work together in harmony so that each individual has a voice that is distinct yet compatible, yet raises the vibration of the whole. Each of us with our separate voices, each of us on our separate instruments, creating this beautiful music that is our community. And I was chatting with Dan and Aaron earlier, and we were talking about how, symphony orchestras are very interesting if you've ever been privileged to witness one in person, because you have different sections of instruments and they're all seated together, which makes sense. And then you have what's the guy called that does the thing with the things? Not a director, a conductor. Thank you. I got that, Tamara. You sent it to me. The conductor is up there, and that's what everybody sort of keeps their eye on, that person, because there's a whole tempo going, and everyone's on their sheet of music. Now, they're not on a separate everybody has their piece that has to do with their instrument, but it's the piece that forms the whole. And I know I'm a drummer, so I'm pretty sure that if they had a drum sheet for a certain piece of music, they would have when I hit the bass and when I hit the little cymbals and when I hit the triangle. That's what my sheet of music would tell me. But of course, the flute would have a different sheet of music that tells the flute what they're doing. And so everyone has their part. And I hope that you've seen one, if not live, then on YouTube or something, where the sound just reaches a crescendo, and you could even see the conductor just, and they're doing this with their shoulders, and you're like, oh, this is going to be good. And it just booms, and it's crescendo. That takes a lot of work. What is the work? The work is harmonizing, each person knowing which part they play, what they bring to this big piece of music that is the symphony. Now, what does that have to do with our community? I think you guys can make the leap here. If I'm really good at what I do, then I'm going to volunteer to do that thing. And then I'm going to do that thing when it's needed. And I'm not going to do it in a way that, well, let's just say, if I'm the flute, I'm going to wait till the flute part comes up and I'm going to do my thing. And then I'm going to be quiet because it's not my turn. This is what we do in community. We kind of come together. We each figure out what our strengths are, and we add our strength when that strength is needed. And we communicate. We communicate. And a lot of times we do look for a conductor of sorts. But note, even the symphony orchestra is set in sort of an arch, in a circle, kind of. Because they need to communicate with one another, and they're all taking their cues. I mean, I could go on and on about this, but think about that. Circles. Ernest Holmes said, the circle of life. The circle is a symbol representing the infinite, the first great cause before it moves into manifest form. The circle of life represents, in its downward arc, the coming of spirit into matter. And in its upward sweep, man's journey from gross materiality to pure spirit, his perfected state. I love that. I'm thinking of a circle that's going around. As from the top down, a lot of times we get our inspiration, we sit in meditation, and we get our inspiration from what we term above, from our crown chakra, from our third eye. We see things, it comes out of the blue. It's always described as a downward causation. When we create, it's usually we get this idea. Sometimes it's in the shower. Why? Because the water's coming down. I'm telling you, this is real. So you come up with it, and then you go, aha, why, that's what I shall do. And then it comes into being. That's one way that the infinite creates through us. But our whole journey here, when we're born and we were raised and we have certain trauma, we overcome the trauma, we take spiritual classes, we do the tools, we get back to who we really are. That's the upward causation. We're on a spiral going up in our consciousness. And then we create downward and we evolve upward, and that is the circle of life. Circles are pretty awesome. So I was looking up a lot of quotes because I'm like, hey guys, circles, am I right? And I do say this kind of stuff out loud in case you wonder, and there's no one in the room. I talk to myself all the time, but here's one from Mark Nepo in the Book of Awakening. Imagine that each of us is a spoke within the infinite wheel. And though each spoke is essential in keeping the wheel whole, no two spokes are the same. The rim of that wheel is our living essence of community, family, and relationship. But the common hub where all the spokes join together is the one center where our souls meet. And that unexpected wholeness that is more than each of us, but common to all of us, that moment of unity is the atom of God. I love that. I love thinking about that each of us has our own thing to do here, and we don't have to be like everybody else. We don't have to homogenize and take away all the things that make us different, all the things that make us who we really are, because that would be denying the divine individuality. I know I came here to express a certain thing or express certain qualities. There might be a myriad of things I haven't even discovered yet. But oh, what a tragedy would it be if I started making myself less in order to be like someone else, in order to be approved of whatever that means, and to get the likes and the subscribes and the hits and the... What if I kept taking away all the things that made me special so that I can look and act and almost be just like someone else? Yikes! A tapestry would be pretty boring if all the threads were the same color. Doesn't make any sense. So we are specifically built to be just who we are. And a lot of our growth comes from removing the false ideas about ourselves and letting go of these ideas that we're less than. And like in Tamara's meditation, she said, if any time you need anything, it's already here within you. You just have to unwrap it. The unwrapping is the job. Have you seen children at Christmas? The unwrapping job. Is it difficult? Does it take a long time? No. Oh my God. And then there's paper everywhere. And sometimes the kids playing with the box. But the point I'm making is that it doesn't take long to unwrap. It's already the gift that we've been born with. But we may not know. We may be sitting on it. I read a little, small little story about a man who had been traveling far and wide looking for his fortune, wishing that he had something of value. And everywhere he went, he was dragging this, I think of it as a footlocker. So it was like a little trunk. He was dragging it with him. And every city he went, he's trying to find work. And so he's sitting on his footlocker, just looking dejected. And someone came to him and said, the equivalent of, what's going on? What's wrong? And he says, I just don't have anything and no one will give me work. I really want to work. I don't have a job. I don't have anything. And then the person said, what's that you're sitting on? And the guy says, oh, this is just my stuff. I just bring it with me everywhere because it's all that I own. It's this thing full of stuff. And the guy said, let's look in it. Opens up the trunk and there's a fortune inside the trunk. I always ask myself, what am I sitting on? You know, what kind of talents have I not taken advantage of? Something that comes easily to me that other people have a hard time doing, that also is well regarded. And that's what I'm sitting on. It looks like I'm sitting on a fortune. Why don't I just go ahead and make use of that? What are you sitting on? And what do you have in you? What gift are you sitting on? Well, let's unwrap that thing. Because it's exactly what you need right there, right in your midst. Now, that all sounds rosy and it all sounds perfect, but we all watch the news. We know that not everybody is abundant and wonderful and sitting on treasure. It seems that they're not. And so what do you do with the cognitive dissonance that comes when you look at the news? For example, this news story about the border. You know, the Biden administration, they're trying to relieve or to address this surge that's happening. So thousands of migrants, they recently made their way to northern Mexico to cross the Rio Grande in El Paso. It's one of the largest ever crossings on that part of Texas-Mexico border, and they're getting 2,500 people every day. And I don't know if you've looked at this on the news, but it's pretty sad to watch. And you have people who, they just want a better life. And so they found that the Trump administration's restrictions and very strange policies of just ship them all back where they came from, get rid of them, that's being tamped down. I think on December 21st is when it's completely lifted. And so that's why everybody's rushing to the border and they're all lining up and it's freezing cold right now. And so there are a lot of local people in the area working to just get these people some shelter. These are human beings. And now listen, here's a quote from Luis Alberto Uria from Across the Wire, Life and Hard Times on the Mexican Border. He says, imagine poverty, violence, natural disasters, or political fear driving you away from everything you know. Imagine how bad things get to make you leave behind your family, your friends, your lovers, your home, your church. Let's take it further. You've said goodbye to the graveyard, the dog, the mountains where you hunted, your grade school, your favorite spot on the river where you fished and took time to think. These are actual people with each and every one of them left that kind of thing because whatever reason, as we just said, poverty, or there's violence going on, there's a war, there's a famine, there's a natural disaster. You leave all that to find a better place to be. And it has to be the last. I'm pretty sure they've exhausted all other options. I mean, the first option isn't, hey, I know, let's go. That has got to be the most, severe, drastic action that one could take. And so we look at that and we realize, wow, not only do we have an obligation to help where we can, we want to help, we want to share, we want to give, because each of us, from an unknown author on this quote, each of us is a vital thread in another person's tapestry. Our lives are woven together for a reason. And so if we become aware of it, we help somehow. We want to help, because our vision is a world where every person has a place to live. Every person has something to eat. And let's say that we don't have the solution. I can't solve the border in this 20-minute talk. I can't. But what I can do is I can have you think about something. Let's reconsider, or let's revisit something I mentioned last week. What I mentioned last week was getting out there and traveling, seeing people, finding out about someone's culture, being curious about where someone came from. So let's say that you do run across an Afghan refugee somewhere here in the area. Is it possible for us to open our hearts and minds and just listen, talk, or hey, is it possible to find out something about their culture and meet them where they are? Because remember, they left a whole culture behind. Rituals, historic rituals, dances that they do, soups that they prepare, different kinds of coming of age rituals. All that is rich in history. Every culture has it, and the more things happen to displace these cultures, the more they might get, I don't know, I think of the word fizzle, but I'm pretty sure there's a more technical term. The more they might just fade away. So there is good news. UNESCO created, and I get excited about this. I'm a geek. Y'all know who I am. In 2003, UNESCO, this stands for the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. They do things like preserve certain areas as cultural landmarks so that nobody knocks it down and creates condos. Those people. They established the Convention for Safeguarding the Intangible Cultural Heritage. What? Intangible cultural heritage, you say? For the whole world, they've gone out since 2003, and they've did a lot of research. They've studied the cultural heritage of certain areas. There are 300. Are there 300? There's a lot of them. Oral traditions passed down. We're not talking, oh yeah, they wrote it down and put it in a book and passed out the book. No, ma'am. Oral traditions, performing arts, social practices. What kinds of baskets do we make in a traditional way? What kinds of, plants do we know have healing properties? Shamans who just do what they do. How do we record that? What if we lose it? What if these people get displaced and then the oldest person dies off and then we never know? We're going to be stuck with just the computers are going to be leading us. This is not good. What if we got those computers to record the history that is currently being passed down through just words and deeds? So festival events, rituals, knowledge about nature, knowledge about the universe. So intangible cultural heritage, what is that? It has four features in it, and I'm going to show you a demo. It's going to blow your mind, but I just need to read this first. Intangible cultural heritage. It's alive in people today. It's inclusive, which means it contributes to the social cohesion of the organization, of the group. It's representative, meaning that the elders and the experts in the community actually represent that. And it's community based, meaning no one defined it for them. This was born and came through their community, and that's how they do things. That's what makes it a cultural heritage. And so they created, there are 300 ethnic religions in the world. UNESCO created this. I'm going to share it with you. And then it's going to be sad that I can't play with this little tool, but I mentioned I was a geek, and I do have 5 minutes. I need to show you this. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I'm sharing. All right, check this out. This is a little tool. I'm going to go slow. All right. This is the homepage of UNESCO. What they've done is they've taken all of the cultural heritage that I talked about before, and they've broken it up into groups. And you see all the circles. They already had me at circles. Hello. But anyway, do you see how everything is connected? It looks kind of like a mandala, but that's just, watch. If you're interested, I know for me, I'm interested in dance. So I hover over dance. And what happens is it gives me all these connections in which dance all over the cultural heritage world here is expressed. So then if I click dance, then I can go in and see all the different places, what kind of dances in Korea, in Mali, in Lithuania, in their singing traditions. Oh, look, from the Peruvians. Okay, let's go in there. I'm going to click. Now, look at this. Hataya de Negritos. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to scroll down and there's a video to tell me all about this. I can press play. I'm going to give it a sec. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I just need you to see what's out there for you to play with instead of scrolling TikTok. Okay? They need to come on. Let me go forward. Okay.
En diciembre de cada año, muchos pueblos del Perú se preparan para la celebración del acontecimiento más importante del calendario religioso católico, el nacimiento de Cristo. La Navidad es una de las festividades más relevantes en el mundo y en el Perú tiene múltiples dimensiones ligadas a la identidad y a la historia de cada región y comunidad cultural. Es un momento en el que se expresan diversas tradiciones que se han ido fijando a partir del encuentro entre culturas y pueblos. Las danzas de negritos y de payitas son un claro ejemplo de ello. El atajo de negrito y el
This is what I'm talking about, you guys. And I just go back out to the constellation. I can find out what they're doing for sustainability, what kind of educational programs, what handcrafts people are doing. Look, I mean, hello. You can find out anything you want to know about other cultures. You can find the history, the traditions, what they do for certain things. There's pictures all over the place and videos. Yes, I will copy this link into the chat and I will put it out there for people. If you're watching online and you want to know, just email us and I'll send it to you. This is what I'm talking about. What better way to find out about other cultures? I watched just 10 minutes of this yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh, I already feel more connected to the world. Because my issue is I sit in my little cocoon and I talk to you guys And it's awesome. And I sit in my ministerial classes, everybody is of like mind. And the most vocal other that I see, the other that's most vocal, is usually the far right that are doing something that makes everybody mad. So I thought, well, there's a whole world out there. And it's beyond the last 8 years. There's been culture, there's teachings that are the golden thread, that are similar with what we know and what other cultures have been going through for decades, millennia. So what better way to find out what they are? I mean, UNESCO, shout out to UNESCO. So these resources, what do they do for us? How does UNESCO help, or how does it help enable our vision? Well, if you think about it, one of the things I mentioned in our vision, and I'm wrapping up, is that we envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. Because the other thing we believe, because we demonstrate that the oneness of spirit is in everything that we do, across every culture that there is. Knowing this oneness is inclusive of race, age, ethnicity, culture, history, religion, political affiliation, experience, gender, and sexual orientation. That this one spirit is in and as and through all life. And as we become more interested, as we stay in the question, as we become more engaged, and then this wonder, this is the year of wonder, as we expand our wonder about how things work, we get to experience even more the rich tapestry that the divine has made on this planet. We get to interact with people, and we get to just bring out our own individuality and let it live within the individuality of other people. Because altogether, we are individually all together. We're not we're not the same, but we are unified. So I love that idea. Please take that in your heart and just know that starting today, your curiosity has just been multiplied by 100. And that you too will just live life with a wonder-filled question as opposed to an answer for everything. That you'll stay in the question and discover, where is it? Where's that spirit? I know spirit's in there. There's that glow. Even if that person's presenting as something other, something that you are fighting against, there's that glow, there's that spirit in them as well. So let's take that in prayer. Let me check the chat. Yes. So I know that as we go into our final prayer for this talk, that all is well, that everything that has needed to be said and heard has already made itself said and heard. Because there's only one life, living, moving, having its being in each and every one of us. It is every spoke of that wheel. It is every thread in that tapestry. It is expressing as every culture in the circle of cultures. This divine spirit expresses itself in an infinitude amount of ways. And so as I'm just giving thanks right here and right now that the divine has emanated as me and as you, and that as community that we are coming together to make a more amazing world, that right here, right now, CSL Leesburg is participating in the unfoldment of the divine itself. We help it to express itself in ways that have never shown themselves before. We are bringing about that atmosphere that just allows each and every individual to grow and be the best that they can be, and to shine, and to just give their individuality a breath of fresh air. We accept everyone. We open our arms to all. And I speak my word for anyone right now who is going through any challenge, whether it's medical, Speak my word for Julie and her family, that in this time of medical crisis, that they are loved, that they are held, they are feeling the energy of the divine moving through, even now. All is well. I speak my word for anyone who is experiencing anything other than the highest ideas for their life, whether that be in relationship, in finances, or in the state of their affairs. I speak my word that right now unfolding is the perfect divine pattern in their life. I'm so grateful to be able to witness this growth and unfoldment of each and every one of us. I'm so grateful to be a part of this community that has fed me so well. And I simply release my word into the law, knowing it is already done. It always says yes, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Hi, Aaron and Dan, Soul Pajamas.
Soul Pajamas. This is a really joyous song by a wonderful New Thought composer and performer named Eddie Watkins Jr.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love. We come together.
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 In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love. We come together.
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 In the name of love. In every walk of life.
Every walk of life.
Every creed and color.
Every creed and color.
In kinship we unite.
Kinship we unite.
In honor of the
God
God.
and each other.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love. We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
In the name of love.
Woo! Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. This is why we do this. This is why we come here and get together and join each other, because from the message, Charlene, you're blowing my mind with the circle thing that you showed us. I can't wait to check it out. To the music, thank you so much, Soul Pajamas. Just amazing. And I have to say this. I love what you said in the beginning, Charlene, about the symphony and how each instrument plays its part. And if you're a flute, you got to play the flute music and you got to be your flute, and you can't try to be a drum, right? I can't do that Peruvian dance, but I can celebrate and watch them and enjoy them. And it's just so amazing. So now it is time to bless the donations that are shared with us today. At CSL Leesburg, we believe in the law of circulation, so we are a tithing community. The donations that are shared with our center bless everyone, those who give and those who receive. And you can see on the screen, there's so many ways that you can give. And, it's December, folks. You might want to be thinking about making some donations so that you'll be happy when you sit down to do your taxes for 2022. So no matter how you're giving, just know that you're being blessed and you're blessing those who receive. It might be our home organization. We tithe to them. We also tithe to organizations that support our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. We thank you so much for your support. Now let's bless our gifts and join me in our affirmation of oneness. No matter how you're giving, just place it over your heart and join me by reading on the screen. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. It feels so good whenever I read that. All right, folks, it's time for announcements. So dream study. I might be able to make it, folks, on Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Join Charlene and her friends as they talk about their dreams and they interpret them. Sometimes it helps to share your dreams and have somebody who's a little bit removed from you. They can see the little patterns that are emerging a bit clearer. This is a great time to get together, feel connected. Join Charlene and her friends on Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And next Sunday, guys, is December 25th, and this is Christmas time. So there is a special service being planned for next Sunday. Charlene's working behind the scenes, working with Leah, putting together an incredible service that is going to be held next Sunday. So please make sure that you join for this very special treat. Oh my goodness. I don't know about you. I feel like I want this to go on and on, but we do have things to do, right? It's a busy time of year. So please join me. I want you to turn on your mics. I want to hear you. Join me in our closing affirmation. So here we go. You ready? I am love.
I am
I
love.
am love.
Woo! Do you hear the joy? Do you hear the joy? Do you feel it? Now look at somebody who's in the room, like you just heard in our last song. It might be somebody who's on your screen. It might be a little furry companion, but just send it out to somebody. You are love.
You are
You
love.
are love.
That feels so good. Now put your hands up in the air. Join me for our love sprinkles. It's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love. It's all joy. It's all prosperity. It's all peace. You got it all. You got the gift inside you. Thank you so much for joining us here today. If you can stay, please stay. We're going to share our pearls, those little nuggets from our service today that just resonated with us. But if you have to leave us, please know that we send you off with our love. Thanks for joining us.